I think that was the main
that's a good
purpose
thing,
of
right?
the wall. It's just a bunch of millions, maybe billions of dollars that's gonna be spent, that could be spent for something that has a good purpose. If they want over here, they'll get them a 9-foot ladder. If you go put up an 8-foot wall, it's useless. It'll be useless. If they want to get their drugs over here, they got these little things now, you just fly them over the wall. So I really think a wall is unnecessary. I don't think it'll solve the problem. We do have a problem, but a wall is not the answer.
So what are some answers here regarding our economy? A lot of people have spoke about how illegal immigration has made a huge toll on our economy, where Americans are out of work, or the social welfare system. But then some people, on the other hand, have said, well, hey, these illegal immigrants are filling jobs that other people don't want to fill, and they're worried that their businesses are going to have a lack thereof. So I'll let you go ahead and answer first.
Well, that's okay. I agree. I mean, we do need illegal immigrants for the low, because it's truth. American people, young people don't want to work today. Okay, and a lot of the Mexican people, they do come here and they're hard-working people. But in all concept, you still have to come here legally. Americans were born here, so of course they're entitled because of that reason. But if they come here and do a legal job, that's no problem. It's no problem. They can have the American dream.
Okay, so what's your response?
Okay, I'll agree that is a problem, but you made the statement that the young people don't want to work. Okay, everybody's got that in their head. I was young once too, and you were too. The American dream is dead. That's why the young people don't want to work. When I had a job...
That's why we got to make America great again.
When I had a job, well, let's raise the minimum wage. When I had a job...
How's the minimum wage? Minimum wage ain't going to do nothing.
I could pay for my house, I could buy me a car, and I could put $1 away. You take the younger generation today, they go to work, they get a job making $11 or $12 an hour. They won't even pay their rent. The American dream is dead because the upper echelon, the rich, have bled the poor to death. They've bled them to death. The working man is working, unless he's working in Lordstown or somewhere like that, they're working for nothing. Well, the younger generation says, well, wow, I'm married and got a couple kids. I can go down and get on welfare. I can get me a medical card. I can get food stamps and get all this. That'd be better than me working for $11 an hour. They're better off.
Isn't that how the Democrats do? So they keep the people enslaved so they can keep voting for them?
No, that's how the
keep their agenda.
That's how the Republican
cities like Baltimore, Chicago, Ferguson.
Okay, all right. Let me reel this back in. Okay, so here's the next one. Let's talk about voting. Okay, there's been a lot of controversy during the voting.
Oh, okay.
During the 2016 presidential election, they had to do a lot of recounts in areas, and they did find that there was a substantial amount of illegals that voted in our presidential elections. Now, what's your guys' thoughts on combating illegal voting and voter IDs pertaining to our border security and our wall? Like, how do we solve the voter ID issue? I'll let you go first.
Actually, that's individual. Every county, every state has their own way of doing things. So, I mean, that's whoever's controlling that. That's who has to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to oversee something like that because every state is different.
So, do you think that people should have to have ID to vote?
Yes, most definitely. But that's up to our elected officials and the politicians that we're paying to take care of that, to make sure that everybody that votes is legal. They're not doing their job, but they're taking their paycheck, So apparently they are, because if we look at the statistics, how many illegals voted? Now, who let them vote? Somebody knew better, and we're paying them to overlook that, and they're not doing their job. Trump, fire them.
All right, so it looks like you are for voting voter IDs, and are you both for voter IDs?
Well, you have to have an ID.
Okay,
you can't
so
do
you
anything
guys are
without
both
an ID.
for that. Okay, so let's find something that you guys don't agree on, which is gun control, right?
There you go.
So you guys do not agree on gun control. So you are what, for or against gun control?
I'm for gun control.
And you are for or against gun control?
Well, I'm against gun control, yes.
Okay, so what do you want in regards for gun control? Do you want to see semi-automatic weapons banned? What's your limit? Do you want to see all guns banned?
No. Most definitely not. Don't want all guns banned. I have guns. I'm a hunter. I hunt a lot, and there's nobody going to take my guns away from me. But on the other hand, I look at these school shootings and all these shootings that are going on, and I'm with those kids. I'm with those kids that's been shot up and there wasn't something done about it. I would agree that we should limit all guns to a 6-shot clip, a 6-shot clip maximum, and quit building these 30-shot clip guns and AR-15s and whatever. A 6-shot clip. Anybody that would want an AR-15 apparently wants to kill somebody, because that's what they're used for. That's what they were made for. A hunting gun, very seldom do you see a gun that you hunt with that has more than a 6-shot clip. So that's where I would like to see it controlled, at a 6-shot clip.
All right, so what's your response to what he just said?
Well, I think the problem's not so much, I think that the Democrats, no, seriously, I think the Democrats, this is their agenda, because think about it, there's millions and millions of people dying from heroin overdoses, and they're not worried about that. You're worried about a few school shootings from people who are actually crazy. It's known fact that the last 3, the people were on meds, and they actually needed medication. They were not, I got plenty of guns, and I've never had one of my guns get up, go to a school, and shoot up the school. Never. I mean, I must have trained them well, because they never did. Okay, so I don't think the gun's the problem. The problem is the people. You got people that are messed up, and it's our system that does a better venting job in order to catch these people before tragedy happens.
I want to talk.
All right. He wants to respond, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Jeremy, quit bringing up the Democrats and Republicans. This is the gun control matter. No, the Democrats are not going to take your guns, the Republicans are not going to take our guns. There ain't nobody going to take our guns. But you said it's the person that does it. Okay. Now, I'm thinking about this. If that person you said is crazy and takes that gun and goes to shooting, if he's only got a gun that'll shoot 6 shots, he can only kill about, 1/6 of the people that he kills with a 30-shot clip. I've thought about this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again. It is going to happen again.
What if he has a
But
bomb?
if they can only get their hands on a gun that's got a 6-shot clip, then we've saved a lot of people. We're never going to stop it. We're never going to stop it.
It's never going to stop.
Okay, so statistically, handguns are used.
Handguns kill
Way
more people,
more.
way more people
Yeah.
than any assault rifle. Handguns kill way more people.
You getting mad?
It's a known fact. So should we ban all handguns? That's ludicrous. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's just the whole idea of this. It's just an agenda to take our guns away for whatever reason. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion.
Well, now let's get back to why we even have guns in the first place. The Second Amendment. Okay.
Second Amendment.
So our Constitution talks about the Second Amendment. It talks about how these rights shall not be infringed, and that we actually have the right to form a well-regulated militia. Now, the question is what limitations, if any, should we have on a militia? And, should we, it seems like a slippery slope. I mean, should we be making changes to the Second Amendment when it says shall not be infringed? I'll let you go first, and then I'll let you respond.
When was the Second Amendment written? A long time ago. Things have changed. The Second Amendment does need amended. It needs amended and written out more to where we can understand it better. But I'll still stick to my 6-shot clip on gun control. I think the Second Amendment should be amended to that, and we quit making automatic weapons and 30-shot clips. The Second Amendment needs amended. It's just like everything. As times change, we got to change our laws and our rules. We have to change them because times change. Well, times have changed. Back to the Second Amendment was to form a militia to fight for our country. I think those days are over. We don't have to form a militia to fight for our country because we have the strongest military in the world. So I don't think we need guns to arm ourselves against a foreign country.
All right, and what's your response to that?
Well, my response is quite simple. Hitler had the biggest army at one time in Nazi Germany. He took all the people's guns, Heck, he was on Time Magazine as Man of the Year. Now, if you take everybody's guns away from them, what do you have? You can't defend yourself. That's what the Second Amendment's all for, is defending yourself.
I won't comment.
Because, look at when we got our independence from England, that was basically another, another army, another militia. That's why we had the militia we had. That's why our forefathers made those rules.
Now, okay, you want to respond here really quick, but what'd you say?
I want to make an interjection.
You want to make an interjection?
First
Okay.
off, the Second Amendment is never going away.
Okay, hold on. Before you start in here, I'm going to let him respond to him, and then
Okay.
you can interject. Okay.
Okay, this is just a little dig on Jeremy over there. He said that Hitler's
Jody.
picture was on the front
Jody.
of Time. Or Jody. Jody said Hitler's picture was on the front of Time magazine. Well, if you look at this month's issue, our president, Donald Trump's picture, are you listening? Our president, Donald Trump's picture is on the...
Does this have anything to do with
Let me
anything?
finish.
You're just making fun of Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's picture's on
Who
the
makes
front
fun of-
of
who
Tim-
makes fun of your United States
Time
president?
magazine, and his hair is all blowed all over the place. Look at the picture on Time magazine, and underneath that picture it says Stormy.
Okay, so that's okay.
That has,
Now, all right, now you wanted to interject
Don't
here
do
on the
that.
Second Amendment. So come on, pull up a chair really quick, and we'll let you
I'm
interject.
pretty good at this.
The Second Amendment will never.
Well, you gotta come in closer here.
The Second Amendment is never going away. It's there permanently. It would take 38 states and their legislatures and their people to pass that. It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen in our lifetime or any time in the near future. That's the bottom line. It's not going anywhere, so it's not a debate. It's whether or not you can own guns. Yes, you can.
But do you think it needs amended, the Second Amendment?
To say what? We're going to limit your rounds?
Yeah.
That's not going to pass either. The point is, it's not going to pass.
Well, we're always going to have the Second Amendment, I know, but I think it needs amended.
Now, okay, so I hear what you're saying in that,
Gary, did you understand that? Handguns kill more people than assault rifles. So that means more people get killed by a handgun than an assault rifle.
Got to solve one problem at a time.
What would that-
so would you
how
want
would
to
that be a
ban handguns as well, or just only assault rifles?
The assault rifles.
Just the assault
I'm not
rifles.
referring to handguns.
Do you think you should raise it
Is that
to
a problem?
21?
Yeah.
21?
But in order,
Should it raise it to 21 before you can get a gun?
No.
An assault rifle? I mean, you go to
assault
war,
rifle or assault rifle shouldn't
I
be able
mean-
to get period.
a young kid could go to the army at 18.
He should be able to own a gun.
Can't drink till he's 21.
He should be
But
able to own a gun. at
he
18.
can't have a gun? I mean,
He should be able to vote at 18. He should be able to go. If he can go to the service at 18, he should have all the rights as an American citizen. If he can go to war and fight for our country, he should have every right that I have. He should have it.
All right, so let's get into the gun control laws we have right now. Currently in Chicago, they have some of the strictest gun control laws around.
By far.
Right now, they have also one of the highest murder rates and gun violence rates. How do you feel that more gun control laws are going to be put into effect to make it so that there's less murders with guns? I'll let you answer first.
Okay. You said Chicago. Well, I think we all know a little bit about Chicago. What Chicago's been like for the past 50 years. It's always been a killing field, and it probably always will be. How do I think stricter gun controls will help? Just what I said. You take the 30-round clips, limit it to 16. Those people in Chicago will be shooting. They're like the Arabs. They'll be shooting each other till hell freezes over. But the 30-shot clip, eliminate it. Get rid of it. That's what I want changed. I'm not saying take the guns away from anybody. Take those 30-shot clips and those weapons of mass destruction, those weapons that are made. They were made to kill people. That's what they were made for.
Okay.
It's common sense. If you take the guns away from us law-abiding citizens, the only one that will have guns are criminals. Where does that leave us, Gary?
We're not going to take the
If they,
guns.
if
We're
they
not
do,
gonna
I mean,
take-
I'm just saying. They did it in Australia. You think that. There's a lot of things you think. You thought years ago you never thought you have internet to go steal all over the world, did
I
you?
still don't.
But now we do.
That's where we can't
Things
get-
change. You
that's
think
where-
that.
That's where you and I can't get on the same page with
But
gun control.
things-
You're talking about eliminating
Things
all
have
guns.
changed.
It's never going to happen.
Assault rifles are always going to be there. The criminals all have assault rifles. I don't have one personally, but maybe you do. I don't know. I don't need one assault rifle.
No, nobody needs one.
Well, I'm not saying nobody needs one. They can have anything gun they want. They may want to go out and shoot, whatever they want
What
to
do
do.
they do with it? It's made to kill people.
Nobody
You
in
don't
this
wanna go kill
country is
people.
going to give their weapon up.
Yeah,
Nobody's
nobody.
going to say, come into my house.
Right now,
Here's
the
my
biggest
AR-15.
army in
It's
the
not gonna
world
happen.
right now is me, you,
Yeah.
her, is us Americans. That is the biggest army in the world, bigger than China. I don't know exactly how many millions of people in the United
China
States.
has a lot more people than we do.
I know, but we have guns.
Well, guns.
Okay, I've got another question for you guys. All right, so let's say that, because there's a varying degree of what the left wants regarding gun control. Some people are more mild, like you, and they just want regulation and bans on certain rifles. Some say all semi-automatic weapons, which includes handguns.
They gotta vent-
Some say
they gotta
every
vent to
single
people, yeah.
gun. So what do you guys think will happen in this country if legislation of some sort gets passed to ban guns?
Nothing is ever going to happen because the NRA runs our federal government. And the NRA is the most powerful organization in the United States.
Where is this coming from?
And there's never going to be any there's never going to be any change in gun control.
The NRA
But
owns
the
it?
NRA controls the politicians, and there's never going to be any change in gun control. Those kids and me can fight till we turn blue in the face. But as long as the NRA says no, it's not going to happen.
Okay, but what do you think if it did happen? Let's say that a miracle in your mind happened, okay, and let's say it happened. What do you think would happen after that happened? Like, how do you think the country would go with that?
I don't think the country, when they found out what was going on, if they limit to a 6-shot clip, 85% of the people in the country would agree with it, would say that's okay. You got 15% that wouldn't agree with it. They want to keep their AR-15. If they want an AR-15, apparently they want to kill people, because that's what the gun was made for. That's what the gun was made for.
All right, now let's let
I have
him.
a lot-
All right, now what do you think's going to happen if?
I wanna answer to that, though.
What do you think? Before you answer to that, what do you think is going to happen in our country if they pass laws to ban guns?
Well, common sense tells you what's going to happen. If somebody comes to Duke's house or even Gary's house and say, hey, I want your guns, I think he might change his views a little bit. I know surely Alan, if
shoot 'em.
somebody come to Alan's house or Kelly's house and said, hey, I want your guns, there'd be a little bit of a revolt in this country.
That ain't going to happen.
What
It's not going to happen.
you don't know if it's going to happen. It depends on who you
People
vote
are
in.
the young people are
I'll give
young
you a
people
These
are
young
on
people
board.
I'm with
aren't
the young people.
educated like they
I
should
am
be.
with the young people. I'm with those.
There are
kids.
followers. You have leaders, you have followers. The young people follow. They don't know. They don't even know who the president is. They don't even know who the vice president is. I see these interviews all the time. They don't even know anything about the judicial branch of the government.
Okay, now I have a question. Okay, for both of you guys. Now, would you be willing to pick up a gun to essentially confiscate another man's semi-automatic rifle?
No.
Would you be willing to pick up a gun to preserve your right to have a gun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right,
I
so,
thought maybe it was a trick question. I was anticipating there.
She asked me one question, asked you another.
Right.
I agree with you on the second.
Yeah.
okay, so would you be willing to pick up a gun to defend your right to own semi-automatic rifles?
You mean against the government, you mean?
Yes.
Well, not if I don't have to. I mean, hopefully we could work it out. But
If you had to.
if I had to, I mean, it wouldn't be just me. I mean, you're talking about the militia and the Second Amendment. I mean, there might be a militia. I mean, just
What would
saying.
you do? What would you do personally?
I'd probably be leading the fight. I'd probably be right there. I'd be leading the fight.
If the federal government comes and said they wanted your AR-15, if the federal government comes and said they wanted your AR-15 with a 30-round clip, you would shoot them, or you would not give it up?
Is that the question?
Yeah,
I
go
thought that
ahead.
was the question.
Are they gonna reimburse my money for $800 I paid for it, or what? I mean, how's that gonna work? They just take it,
No, they'll probably
know?
reimburse you. They'll give you.
domain,
If
are
you
they
pay
gonna take it?
$600 for it, they give you $600 and take it.
Yeah.
That's
a rough question.
I'm glad she asked you.
Let's get on to free speech, okay? Which I bet both of you guys agree with free speech, right?
I do.
You do? You agree with free speech?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, you do?
I do, but it's not always granted to certain people, but yes.
Okay, all right, so, well, I guess we can't really go too much down that since you guys both agree in free speech, but a lot of people are talking about, you know, in this country, doing away with free speech.
I can disagree with free speech.
You can disagree with
I
free
can
speech?
disagree with it if you agree with
What kind of speech do you disagree with?
it. Well, we have elected officials and we have a president. And we do have free speech. But he takes free speech and just cuts people down to no end, makes them look like dummies and fools. That's taking free speech too far. They shouldn't be that kind of free speech. The president should be more diplomatic than that and control his right for free speech.
All right, well, I'm guessing you're for free speech, right?
Well, absolutely. That's one of our, yes, of course. Free speech. That's not the First Amendment, right? Free
Yeah.
speech. Yes.
Free speech. All right, well, you know what? Thank you so much, guys. I wanted to ask anyone else, does anyone else want to pop in here on gun control?
Gun control? Anybody
For and
got
against?
questions?
Anyone else? Do you want to pop
Kelly
in?
does, I'm
What
sure.
do you want to know?
On gun control?
Gun control?
Are you for or against?
I'm totally for no, totally against gun control. And I disagree with his statement that only 15% of people would agree.
That was a nice month. That was.
I totally disagree with 15% of people. There is way more Americans that respect and they're grateful for the right to own the guns. And
They should be.
as far as the automatic rifles go, other countries have semi-automatic weapons. What's to keep our neighboring borders from coming down if our American citizens don't have the same things as our other countries that
military.
border us
Our
have?
military, the strongest in the world.
And
The strongest in the world.
I'm sorry, but we have the right to bear arms.
We do,
And
yes,
we are
do.
American, and I have the right to protect myself and my own family
doubt in my
from anything that comes forward from another country or other people that come here. So if they have the right, we need to have the right as well.
People have to realize there's already restrictions
Yes.
on guns.
Yeah.
You can't own a fully automatic weapon. You can't own an M16. You can't own hand grenades. You can't.
And this is
Is anyone else, pro gun control?
Can on that?
Anyone else pro gun control? No?
He's former military.
I don't want it to seem like we're like all gang dogpiling on him, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
So,
What's the
all
difference?
right, so if you wanna let her come take a seat for a minute.
It's okay.
No, come take a seat, hun. Because I don't want it to seem like we're dogpiling on him, you know what I mean?
It's okay.
Okay.
Alan is former military. He can tell you, more about
What
guns
other questions we
than
can
I
ask
can as far as that goes.
Is there,
Okay.
Yeah, it's
is there
okay.
one Democrat in the House? Is there no Democrats in the House? Hey, I'm surrounded by Republicans up here that's tearing me apart. I need a little help.
He's a Democrat.
I'm not a Democrat. I vote by my conscience. I support the Second Amendment completely. I support it. I really don't have a whole lot of problem with restricting certain amounts of rounds that can be fired at a given moment. But I support the right because
do
it's
too.
in our
I agree
Constitution. I
with
support it 100%.
Yes.
I support the right, the freedom to speech,
I do too.
100%, but that doesn't allow me to say certain things. I can't cry fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
I can't go and say derogatory items that are hateful, that end up being hate speech. That's not allowed. So everything has a certain amount of restrictions, and it's up to the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution to decide what is allowed and what is not allowed.
Right. I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So, all right, so is there anyone else that wants to chime in?
Come on, Liz.
Do I know you?
I'm just not sure why we're not talking about the real issue here, and the real issue is why we have our Second Amendment right, and that is to protect ourselves from our own government.
Yes.
Right.
We're talking about, people shooting each other and all those things, and by the way, those are all mental health issues for the most part.
Yes.
I'm wondering why we're not talking about the fact that we need protection from our own government.
Right. That's
Why
what,
is that not a topic?
that's what it was for actually back then. You're right.
It's
Yeah,
still
the
for-
Second
it's still
Amendment
for-
was-
it's still for
We
today.
had just
Right.
thrown off a
It's still
tyrannical
for
government.
today, and that it's
You
gonna
see
happen.
how just how our government is. Our government's
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's a
And
swamp.
the day they come storming into everyone's houses and checking mattresses and under floorboards to take away everyone's guns, then who protects us from the government? That's my concern. So I
Do you,
just
do
I
you
didn't
really
hear-
think that will happen one day?
Well, everybody like you who has the position that, you know, is for gun control, that's the only way that I see that happening. I mean, is people coming from the military and knocking on the door and
Nazi
saying,
Germany.
I'd like to have all your guns, please. I
Well,
want to
they're-
search
they're
your
not
house
gonna
and
get 'em.
take them.
The reason I'm for gun control is because I see what's going on in these schools and the Vegas shooting and these shootings.
No,
That's
you're
the
not.
reason, I'm for gun control. If we limit the clip down to where they can't fire as many rounds, then these kids are right. You might think they're dumb, but they're right. They're right on fighting for their.
That's like saying, let's protect all of our young from the opioid epidemic by getting rid of all prescription drugs, all prescription opiates. I mean, to me, that's crazy. There's other ways to solve problems other than wiping out anything that could predict or cause that problem.
Well,
I mean, there's other ways of solving that
Yeah.
than taking away guns or the amount of clips and things like that, because they're going to find a way to cause that harm regardless of what you're, you know, recommending. I'm sorry.
So
You know what?
what do you think?
You said, I'm for gun control. You're not for gun control, you're for gun restrictions.
yeah,
Not gun control. You
But
said
that
everybody has the right to own.
gun control is, though.
And how do you
Wanting
propose- how do you
restrictions
propose you
for
do that?
gun control over
how do I
guns.
propose to do what? But I'm.
The restrictions. How do you recommend that happens?
So the question is, how do you recommend that here, go ahead and ask him, just so people can hear.
How does that happen?
How-
How do you the restrictions? If you're
How do you
not,
make the clip smaller?
yeah,
How does it happen?
yeah.
Yeah.
You amend the Second Amendment. You amend the
And who's
Second.
in charge of making that happen?
Like he said, I think it'll be the
Nancy
It takes 30
Pelosi.
it takes
Supreme
38
Court.
states to pass.
Supreme Court of the United
No,
States.
I mean actually the enforcing of that. And how does that go down in real world, everyday
Our
life?
federal
Like, how
government
does that
enforces
happen?
it.
Enforces it. So
the
military,
the law,
military?
The law of a military would take. You brought up opioids, okay? You brought up opioids. Opioids, Ilana, going straight up. Okay. Now, here's our problem. Here is our problem. We can't get together on anything. We can't work on anything and finish it. I went to the high school.
Who's we? Who's we?
I'm talking about all of us. I'm talking about every doggone one of us. I went to the high school 2.5 years ago and proposed a drug program to put into school that every 7th and 8th grade kid has to take this class every day for 1 year and pass this class to graduate. And I want him taught on all the prescription drugs that are out there today and what they'll do to you, and show them the effects of it. Show them what it's doing to people, what's killing them. Educate them on drugs. Nope. Now, see, you disagree.
Those people know.
Then you tell me the. Then you tell me the.
You know
no
all
more-
that, just like kids that get pregnant in 7th, 8th grade.
It's
Okay,
420.
Oh,
today
that's
is
why that was on
420.
TV.
Okay, so all right, let's get a against marijuana and a for marijuana legalization.
I'm for.
You're for. Let's get somebody new though. Let's give
Okay.
somebody else a turn. If
Who
you want
wants
to
to
come
sit
sit up here, Chris. You gotta.
Everybody
I can
in
move, I can
favor
move.
of
What about,
marijuana, raise your right hand.
are you for or against marijuana?
I'm for marijuana.
You're for.
I
Any,
don't smoke it, but I'm for
is
marijuana.
anyone for?
I think we have a few people that are for it.
We need.
I'm in favor.
Oh, you gotta have.
Is somebody is somebody against it though? We need to find
Federal
someone that's
government.
against it.
Legalize marijuana.
You gotta find somebody against it.
Will you go ask for me?
There's no one here.
I got you. Those are my friends. Wait, are you for or against marijuana?
I like it.
Oh my god.
Okay, I want to say something about that.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, on TV this evening, I think from 4 to 5 or 5 to 6, Sanjay Gupta was on there. That's who I was on today. But he's been studying the effects of marijuana for 3 years on adults, children, and everything. And if you'd have watched that program, Sanjay Gupta, a well-recognized doctor that knows his stuff.
I'm listening, sir.
Yeah, he, 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 he that there was a 1-year-old kid was having a seizure every half hour. They tried every medication they could never get it done. When she was 2 years old, she had died once. They'd run out of options, and they tried marijuana. The kid is healthy today and doing fine. I am all for marijuana, but the pharmaceutical companies, which are run by the politicians, the pharmaceutical companies run the politicians, we will never.
Is anyone against marijuana legalization here? All right. What about, are you pro medical or recreational? Like, do you think there should be recreational or just medical?
It should be.
I want to come home after work and smoke a fatty. Instead of go to the bar and drink and do a fatty, I'd rather smoke one.
It should be recreational and
Recreational, dear, because I come home after a hard day of work in construction. I smoke a doobie. I used to come out here and drink a lot, but I smoke a big old fatty. I'm all good.
You're good?
And I've been smoking it for 30 years. And I enjoy the shit out of it. And they ought to just leave me alone. I do it at home. You can go to hell. I got guns too. So
Okay. Okay, so what would you say to people out there to convince them as to why we should legalize
It mellows me
it
out.
for recreation?
It mellows me out. I used to be a mean whore. Now I'm a nice one. It's just a lot mellower, you know? I mean, what the hell? I mean,
The war on drugs was lost when it was started.
Hey, you ever,
There's never going to be an end to the drug war until the government says legalize it. Legalize weed.
I mean, hey.
That's all there is to it. And the billions and trillions of dollars they would raise in tax revenue. My God, we'd pay off the federal deficit, and we wouldn't have a federal deficit. We'd have more money than we stick it.
Hey, I'm ex-military.
Colorado.
I think it's bullshit. I think, if that's what you do, that's better than drinking.
Okay, I've got a topic here. Let's talk about our veterans. Okay. So, you said that, you're you seem to be pro against, I guess you were against the wall, and you're pro-immigration, right?
No.
No, you're not pro-immigration?
I didn't say against immigration. I agree with Jody on that. Anybody that comes into this country should come in legally. They should come in legally. But a wall's not gonna stop.
What is it?
Okay, so are you for or against DACA? Do you think that President Trump should have, do you think the Democrats and everyone should have got together on DACA and allowed all these
Screw them
illegal
fucking
children to live?
foreigners. I'm going to tell you that right now. Can't speak
Okay.
English, you can go to hell. You don't know my flag, you can't respect my country, you don't obey my laws, you can burn in hell. That's just the way it is.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on illegal
Hey, look at this. Red, white, and blue, baby.
Yep.
Red, white, and blue.
What do you think I'm wearing?
We got 2 full-blooded Americans here. Well, we got 3. I am
I'm
2.
gonna slide Jody back.
But on
Okay,
DACA,
come here, by me.
on DACA, we could have went about it a better way. I personally know a woman that's living over here, American married her and brought her over here, and they had 2 kids, and now they come to her door and says, "You're here illegal. You have to leave." Now she's got to leave. Her husband and her kids are taken with her. There's a better way to do it. There was a better way to do it. Each one that was here illegal should have been interviewed and reviewed, and then make a decision on them at that time.
Okay, all right. Do you want to say something to that?
President Obama actually deported more people than Trump ever did. You do know that, right?
Yeah, probably did. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it is unfortunate, but then people have to come here legal. Is it, you get a ticket for speeding? Is it my fault you sped because you drove too fast, or is it that person's fault because they didn't come here legal? I mean, it's a sad situation. I understand.
You gotta have a conscience. You gotta have a little conscience.
A conscience, okay.
Yeah, you gotta have a little conscience and look at these 2 little kids and their mother.
No, I'm very sympathetic. I understand.
Well, apparently you're just wanting to deport them all.
No, I don't want to deport them all.
Okay,
No,
then we
no.
agree. Then we agree.
No, there's got to be a way. I understand.
Yeah.
No, there's got to be a way. There has to be a way. It's very unfortunate. There has to be a way. But what is the way? You know what I mean? There's got to be a better way.
gotta
You know,
figure it out.
it's just like the guy in Youngstown they deported. That was horrible too. You know, I mean, I wish. Yeah, he was here for many years, but he didn't. He got married. He didn't come here the right way, and they deported him. He has a business over there. People love him. I mean, that's a very.
Yeah. There's a right way and a wrong way.
There's a right way and a wrong way. No, there's too many. You know.
All right. Let's talk about. Here's the next topic. We're gonna talk about
Obama and
Trump.
And Obama.
Trump and Obama.
Sure.
Okay, what about Trump and Obama? Because I wanted to
Why?
kind of get here.
I know you want to debate that subject.
Well, let's get to this whole Russia, Trump,
Oh, the
Comey,
collusion.
the Russia
This collusion they can't find.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so do you think that Trump should be impeached based on Russia collusion? I'll let you answer first.
Absolutely not. First of all, what collusion? There is not one fact yet. They've been doing this for what? How long have they been doing this? Robert Mueller and the whole gang.
Just like Donald.
Huh? Collusion. What collusion is
You're
there?
Donald with short hair.
No, you know, the situation is, honestly, everybody thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, correct? That's a fact. The fact is, Hillary Clinton, by far, every poll said they was going to win. And who was helping her win at the time? Supposedly, Russia, correct?
No.
Then all of a sudden, Donald Trump gets elected. He didn't even think he was going to win. He was surprised. So what happens after that? Oh, now she's all crying the blues because she lost. Now it's Russian collusion. They flipped the whole thing on the Donald Trump. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, now I gotta answer that. Okay, he's a little bit right on about what happened, but here's
Whoa. You agree with me?
a little bit. Yeah.
Common ground. We
Common
found it.
ground.
Hillary Clinton wasn't no
Hey,
angel.
thank you.
Hillary Clinton wasn't
We'll
no
agree.
angel.
We'll agree to disagree.
Now let me give you a little bit of elderly advice. Mr. Trump is already impeached. He is impeached. It's just a matter of time when they want to do it. Now, I think they got enough on him to impeach him. I think they really do.
Impeach him for what?
You'll find out.
We'll
But,
find out.
yeah, well, wait a minute. Here's the problem right now. If we announce today, if they come out today and says, we're going to impeach President Trump. Okay, President Trump has a lot of followers. And those followers are not little fitsy people. They're really tough, hardcore people. There'll be a revolution in this country, one we've never seen before. That's why they haven't announced it yet. But before the next election, Donald Trump will be impeached.
Impeached for what?
For a lot, a whole lot.
What? What did he do? Because something he did 7 years before he was.
Let him respond. Let him respond. Okay.
Why would he get impeached? What is the grounds for impeachment? What? Because he had a sexual affair with a prostitute 8 years ago? Who cares? You know? Bill Clinton had sex with Monica Lewinsky.
He got
I think he
impeached.
groped Walter Mondale's daughter in the White House.
And he got impeached.
And he got impeached, but he had to still serve out his service.
All right.
He got impeached.
Let's make it clear. Bill Clinton was impeached because he lied. He
That's
lied.
right.
He was
That's right. He
impeached
said
for
he never had
perjury.
sex with
If he would have owned up to it, he would not have been impeached.
You're probably right.
That's the irony here. So if Trump were to just say, "Yeah, I did it," you know, he's safe, you know.
Yeah, he's
But anyway, let's stick to Russia collusion. Do you think that he's going to be impeached based on Russia collusion, or you think it's just simply based on Stormy Daniels?
It's based on a lot of things. Russia collusion, firing the FBI director, and all the things that he did to get rid of the people that will not bow to his feet. He is a dictator. He is a dictator from word go, been a dictator all of his life. If you don't agree to what a dictator says, then move on down the road, Jack. You're fired. That's Donald Trump. He is a dictator, and he will be impeached for the things that he did wrong. To the FBI director, collusion with Russia. There's a lot more to the Russia thing than we know, but we have to wait on the guy to finish it off, and he will announce it when the time is right.
All right. What's your response?
Well, he's not a dictator. He's just cleaning house. He is cleaning the swamp. He is emptying the swamp
He did.
in Washington, D.C.
He did.
It's corruption.
He did. He
Okay?
did.
The left wing and the right wing all belong to the same bird.
did.
It's a common sense thing.
He did.
People, that's why the American people voted for him.
All right.
The working man. goes out and works.
Somebody did.
I know. Well, you worked at GM, but you still
No, I
work.
did not. I never.
It is, I'm just gonna say, it's so hard not to chime in, but I'm trying to do my best to just be
You
fair.
keep us, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I never worked at GM, and the American people didn't elect Donald Trump.
I thought you worked at GM.
The American people didn't elect Donald Trump.
I thought you did.
No,
You just drove GM.
what was the statement you made there that I wanted to-
Anyone else here
The left
think
wing and the right wing?
that Trump's gonna
Oh,
be
left
impeached
wing
on
and the
Russia
right wing
collusion?
and-
Belong to the same bird.
No?
Belong to the same bird.
No, it has to be proven. It has to be proven.
Anyone else here think that he did collude with the Russians?
No.
No. They would have had facts by now.
Looks like you're the only one.
I
It's a
really
witch
don't
hunt.
know.
It's a witch hunt. Say,
I'm not
say
the one,
witch hunt on
I'm
there.
not the one. that's-
I'm just trying to see if we got any more people on his side to.
Is there anybody?
No, I ain't got nobody on my side. I knew that coming in.
What about the guys?
All right, so,
I'm realistic about it in the fact that it has to be proven. Okay.
oh, you wanna come over here? Cause we can't hear you on the microphone.
Come on, Alan.
Okay, let's see. What are your thoughts on it?
What I'm saying to Gary is, it has to be proven. There is an investigation going on. Could it be proven in the future? Yes, but it's not proven now, so no, he's not going to be impeached unless something is proven. I don't think that's going to happen. In the same way that the House of Representatives and the Senate works, the same way as court of law, except the jurors, all the senators and the House of Representatives,
about the
they're
economy
the
at all?
one who decide whether or not he's going to
Oh, we can talk about that,
be
the
removed from
economy.
office.
See what he said.
No, it's not, at this point right now, no, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be impeached.
Well, okay, the point I was making is, you're saying it has to be proven. I think behind closed doors, it's already been proven. It's just a matter of when they do it. Because when they do it, there's going to be a revolt in this country.
You got them
I think
gangs
they
from
already
Guatemala and all
have
that.
impeached Donald Trump. I really do.
Hey, Gavin.
And it's just a matter of
Come here.
when is the best time to do it. If you're impeached, you can't run for re-election. I think it
Can
will
you go
happen
try to find
before
more
the next
Democrats?
election.
Like, there are
That could
none.
very well be.
There are none.
You're lucky I invited him.
It
You're
has
out
not
of the
Is that what you
country.
If they've
You are
got
out
the
of
proof
country.
behind closed doors, then open the
I
doors
just feel like we should have
and
more
show us
than
the
him,
evidence.
everyone. Well, I guess there
Well,
are none here.
That's a sad part.
No, there's not going
We
to
could
be.
have one fake one. We'd have somebody
No,
fake.
not at all.
I don't know about that. We don't want that. We want legitimate,
They may do that, but
real.
it's not going to make a difference. I mean,
Democrats.
Cuomo was insane the night Trump was winning the elections. You're not gonna find that.
Oh, they all left?
No, we were sat here.
There is
until
that one
bottom line is,
last night. At least I'm here.
show, prove it, the man is not going to be.
All right. Let's reel this in. Then let's talk about other issues. Let's talk about the economy. Let's talk about trade and the subject matter on whether or not we should have tariffs on other countries. Do you feel that we should have tariffs on other countries for trade, or do you think we should have what some people say is free trade? I'll let you go first.
Okay, the problem with the American people is they don't know the difference between tariffs and taxes. Now, tariffs is something you put on a country to punish them for something they did. Taxes is a different situation. China, we charge China 2 cents on the dollar to ship their product in our country. They charge us 35 cents on the dollar to ship it over there. Now that's not a tariff. That's just unfair as unfair can be.
So you agree on that?
That's
You
what
agree on that?
tariffs is not the answer. It's making it fair trade. Now Bill Clinton passed the North American Free Trade Agreement. He passed free
NAFTA.
trade. He should have said fair trade. It's
NAFTA
been adjusted around.
NAFTA was a disaster.
It's not.
It was a
free
disaster.
trade is not fair. Yeah, I agree. It was a
NAFTA was a
But
disaster.
in order for us to balance our budget and get our country back on its feet, we have to get our businesses back. And if we start taxing them to ship it into this country, then they'll come here and make it. But they're shipping it in for 2 cents on the dollar.
Hey, Trump's already changed that trade agreement.
No, he
Trump, no, he's changing it now. Because now, we used to pay for.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Crap. Yeah, we used to pay like 28%, 29% on tariffs, but we were charging them, and they were only giving us like 3 or 4%. I've been watching this on the news.
Right.
Trump's changing that, so the Democrats
Sanctions,
are losers, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because
Sanctions ain't
they
gonna
don't
work.
have a plan.
Sanctions ain't gonna work.
Yeah, they are. A bomb will work.
Might have worked with North Korea.
So you seem to actually kind of be in agreement with what Trump's been doing then regarding tariffs and his policies to bring jobs back to America by bringing our companies back here through incentives by taxing tariffs and et cetera. So
Right.
you actually are in agreement there.
Well, I am in agreement that we got to even make an even playing field. If you charge us 10 cents on the dollar, we charge you 10 cents on the dollar. That's fair trade. Now, the American worker can outwork any other foreign nation. The American worker is the best worker on the face of this earth. We can beat anybody. We are, believe it or not, we are. We can compete. Says me. We can beat any country on the, if we got an even playing field. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. I don't see Mr. Trump making any advance. I don't see Mr. Trump making any advances. The problem is the American worker ain't making no money. He ain't making enough money to pay his bills. So what's he working for? The American dream is dead. Until we get the American dream back, until we get the wages up to where somebody can buy a house and a car and save $1, then we're not going to amount to anything.
Don't get on politics. Don't get on politics because the problem is we're giving away billions of dollars.
Given who?
We're feeding the whole world. We're
Yeah.
giving so much away and we're getting nothing back. That's going to drain our pilferage for me and my kids and my grandkids. I think it's crap.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I don't care
Gary.
about somebody starving in Dendu or where the hell ever. We have people starving in America. We don't take care of.
We have veterans starving on the
Take care of
streets.
all
We need to
That's
take
right.
care of our own. That's why it's called America First. Okay? Make America great. Now, why do the American people vote for Donald Trump? Because he's a
did.
businessman.
They did.
The United States of
Wait,
America.
who voted for Trump?
More people voted for Clinton than voted for Trump.
Okay, but electoral college. I didn't make up the rules, but that's what happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trump won on
He got
electoral.
elected,
Go ahead.
yes. Okay, he got elected. In the states, you know where he got elected? In the states that working people lived in. Where did he get all the votes? And people were all the minorities, the Mexicans, the foreigners, all live in the big cities. Yeah,
But he got
Clinton got more votes.
Right.
But why? That's the same reason. That's the same reason we're talking about.
That's the way we've always did
But
it.
back to Donald Trump. He is a businessman. The United States of America is the biggest business in the world. In the world.
It is.
Who do you want running it? I want Donald Trump running it. That's why the people voted for him. Okay, the economy's doing good. Steel prices have more than doubled.
Okay.
More than doubled. Yeah, exactly. They have more than doubled. All the pipelines are starting in Pennsylvania. That pipeline going across the country. Everything, the steel, they need steel to make pipe. The economy is doing good. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The Chevy Cruise over in Lordstown, I heard they shut down the second shift. Okay.
Things happen.
Well, because people are making more money now, they can afford something bigger than a little Chevy Cruise. That's probably why.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have something to say to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he wants to keep bringing up Donald Trump, giving Donald Trump all the credit. But I've heard a lot of flack. I know that everybody in here is going to give me hell over this, but they say Barack Obama is one of the worst presidents we ever had. Now, maybe we should stop and think about this. Barack Obama was black. Yeah, I know that. And I was going to hang a black guy on a tree one time in West Virginia. But I grew out of that. I
That has nothing to do with
got
nothing.
over that. Okay, Barack Obama, when he was elected president of the United States, this country was not. If you disagree, I can show it to you. This country was this close to the greatest depression of all time when he took over. After Bush, Barack Obama took over with us this close to the greatest depression of all time. He bailed out the automobile industry. He bailed out the banking industry. He bailed a lot of people out, and he even give us a little bit of money, and got our country back to growing again. And it's been doing pretty well ever since. Was Barack Obama perfect? No, but I think Barack Obama was hell of a good president. Now, Donald Trump, we'll have to wait till he gets done and see what he
They
did.
won't give him a chance.
That's
Gary,
it.
they don't
He-
give him a
he-
chance.
he created
You watch the news every morning. I watch 7 o'clock. The news comes on. First 3 things they talk about is Donald Trump did this. Donald Trump did this. Russian collusion.
It's always Trump.
Every day, every
It's always
night.
Trump. It's always Trump.
Every night, everybody on late night makes fun of Donald Trump.
Okay. I want to
If
tell
they
you
would have
why.
done that to Barack Obama, oh my God, oh my God,
But
there'd be riots in the street.
let me explain that
But
to
you know why? Because the American working man knows and understands and says, what a bunch of idiots. And you know what? They don't watch the late night shows. They don't.
They don't watch Fox
Ratings are
News.
down. No, they don't watch. Because they got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah, right.
They got their boots.
Right.
You know, they get their hands dirty. They go to work.
Okay, you're right. I totally agree. Every time I turn the TV on, it's Trump something.
Oh, it's
Trump,
everything.
Trump.
It's horrible.
But now
Horrible.
what created that? Now I think back, what created that? Well,
Because they're so mad because Hillary won.
What? Donald made his bed. He made his bed. He did that to himself. He come down on everybody possible. Come down on the. He wanted to get rid of the press, get rid of CNN, get rid of all these news agencies. He wanted to get rid of them, and they got pissed off at him.
It's called
Now-
fake. It's called fake news.
Well, it's not fake news.
Yeah, it's
They're
fake.
privately owned.
Huh?
They're privately,
They're privately owned.
What Fox is? Fox News is privately
So
owned.
is CNN.
No,
Since-
no,
since-
CNN,
since
CNN
the old
is not
guy- hey.
privately owned.
Yes, they
CNN
are.
CNN is
Fox News.
Pharmaceuticals.
No,
The young
it's not.
people of Fox News are more liberal now. They want to change things, but
CNN is not family owned.
It's
Fox
not,
News is.
it's not
Now,
like a truthful
you
government
can
station.
listen to either one of them. You can listen to either one of them. You got CNBC, you got Fox News, you got CNN. Now, over the past 15 years, I've watched all three of them, and I thought CNN was the most neutral of them all, until Trump come along. When Trump come along and started banging on the news and everything and cutting them down and turning them apart, CNN went against Donald Trump. They did go against him. But he did it himself. If he would learn, if he would have learned back then, clamp your mouth. Clamp your mouth. Keep your
why?
mouth.
Why is he's the president? Why does he got to clamp his mouth?
That's his
That's
problem.
why we voted for
That's
him.
his problem, right? Well, he didn't get.
We
the
got to
right-
sit back and just say no, no, yes, yes, sir, no, ma'am.
Him?
What? Is that how he's supposed
Him?
to do?
No.
What's he supposed to do?
Think before you speak. He don't think before he speaks. He just runs off the mouth. If you're going to be the president, or if you're going to be an executive of anything, when you're asked a question, you think before you answer it. He don't think. If he would stop and think, he might turn out
Because it wasn't
Okay, now let's.
politically correct.
Okay, now it's your turn to respond.
Yeah, you better be politically correct.
Because it
You
wasn't
ain't gonna let- you
politically
ain't gonna
correct
last. You ain't
according
gonna
to
let-
what?
you're not gonna
According,
make it if you don't.
according to the way things work, right? Correct?
Right, that's
I mean,
politics.
today's world's changing. You got Instagram. Well, here we are. Look, we're sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Live streaming. This would never have happened, 10, 20 years ago. Correct, Gary?
No, it wouldn't have.
Right. I mean, this is a whole new world we live in.
You want me to
You
tell
know?
you about 10 or 20 years ago? I can tell
So,
you
so
about 30
all right,
or 40 years.
let's go to a different subject now. Okay, Syria. Who thinks that it was good that Trump went and struck Syria? Who thinks that it was bad? Anyone?
Good,
You think it was good?
but there's a reason.
What do you think? Do you think it was good or bad?
Well,
Do you think it was bad?
No.
You think it was bad? Do you? Nobody here thinks it was bad.
But I'll tell you why it
All
was
right,
good.
all
I'll
right.
tell you why it was
Why
good.
do you think it was good?
Okay. You're not gonna like this. Boy, I tell you what, though. Here's why we struck Syria. We should have did it a long time ago. But the Stormy Daniels thing come up and a whole bunch of other stuff come up.
oh
and
my!
now-
I'm
What
serious.
does that have to do with
Really?
Syria?
Let me
You're
finish.
trying to tell me that's a side?
Let me finish.
Are you
So
serious?
Trump started getting the pressure put on him from
I
all
need another beer.
sides with his attorney and all that. He needed a distraction. That was a distraction.
But that was a reason why we should do it?
That was a good distraction to get the news off of that and get him on Syria. Now we forget about Stormy and all
Did
that
you?
stuff.
Was that on CNN News? You heard that? Is that what it
No,
was?
no, I made that up myself.
You made it up yourself?
Yeah.
That's more fake news, right? More
It-
fake,
it-
more
it-
fake news,
it-
Gary.
it-
Okay,
it's
okay,
just
okay.
news.
All right, but so that's your reason for why you think that we
I think
should have
that-
struck Syria?
No, I think we
because
struck Syria for the good reason, to get rid of their chemical weapons and teach that guy a lesson. But here's one thing that confuses me a little bit. If we're going to get rid of that dictator, instead of striking those chemical weapons, we knew exactly where he was. Why didn't we drop one of those missiles on his back porch?
So basically, the logic here, I guess, is, bomb Syrian children because their dictator chemical attacked Syrian children.
I said drop one on his back porch.
Yeah, but that's kind of what happened.
The sad thing is, over in Syria, you have the Sunnis and the Shiites. there's two tribes that don't like each other, all right? It's kind of like, you know, and it's been going on since the beginning of time. So for us to stick our nose in it, it's ludicrous. It's not gonna, you know, of course, you have children dying, so that's why we did it. That was a good thing. You know, anytime you see children on TV getting gassed, we had to do something, you know, because we are the world police. You know, we are the greatest country in the world. We can't let that happen and just turn a blind eye to it.
That's why we
Now,
are.
now, do you believe that definitely happened and that it was, you know, Assad that committed that attack on the children? Because some people question whether that was Assad or not.
Well,
He did it before,
as of all life, everything's a conspiracy theory, you know what I mean?
right?
Since the beginning, you know, back in the 60s, they didn't think we was walking on the moon. They always thought that was fake. You know, the Twin Towers, that was fake. I mean, you always have something. You know, John F. Kennedy didn't die in 1963. He was in Missouri in a side of a mountain for years because Jackie used to go there every year to see him. You know, conspiracy. That's conspiracy.
That's all
Elvis,
Fox News.
everything's conspiracy.
Fox
So
News.
that's CNN news probably, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
All right, so your response.
What do you want me to respond to?
Next question.
Okay, so I guess we can move on to a different subject then, because we've
We gotta get something. We gotta get something. Him and I can actually argue.
So
about.
what's a point that you want to talk about? What's a topic do you want to talk about?
Gary,
Go
what do you
ahead,
want to
you
talk about?
pick yours.
You can pick one if you want.
Well, you're always, you know, come on. It's up to you.
Okay, let's talk about the working man and his wages today. Let's debate that a little bit.
Do you think that there should be a mandatory minimum wage?
No doubt in my mind, there should be a minimum wage of no less than $15 an hour. That gives you something to go on.
All right, let's.
All right, here's what's going to happen. If you $15 an hour for somebody working at McDonald's, this is what's going to happen. It's already happening. Little computer, little robot's going to do this. You're going to swipe your card, just like you do at Walmart. There's no cashiers. You're going to eliminate jobs. You're not going to make more jobs.
Okay, okay.
All right? Yeah, we'll make $15 an hour, but you're going to have
Okay.
less people working.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so what's your response to that?
My response to that is, Mr. Trump has got the unemployment rate down to under 4%, so we can afford to lose some jobs. If McDonald's wants to go to robots to keep the price down,
They already are.
let them go. Because
They already
there's
are.
there's not one person in here that has to go to McDonald's to buy a hamburger. Now, McDonald's, if you look at their stock and you look at the money they're making, they could pay their people $15 an hour and still make a profit. So couldn't Walmart, so couldn't all these businesses. Look at these businesses. They're making boo-goos of money. Their CEOs are making millions of dollars a year, and the working man is working for $10, $11 an hour. That's where it's out of control. No labor unions, brethren. That's what happens.
Yeah, labor unions work well. That's why we're at where we're at.
But they're dead. They're dead.
The working man, listen, the richest people in the United States pay the most tax. Fact. No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
I'm not going there, Jody. I'm
No,
not
it's a
going there.
fact.
I'm not
No,
going
you got 51% of people in this world, in this country, don't pay any tax. Zero tax. The richest people in the United States pay the most tax. It's a fact. You can fact check it. I'm not making this up.
Okay.
All right, so
Now,
then
I want one
I'll let
response
you,
on that,
all right,
one
and then we're
response.
gonna move to Trump's tax bill, and we're gonna be talking about if
Okay.
you're for or against it.
All right. Okay. He says the rich pay more taxes
They
than the
do.
working man.
That's a
Okay.
fact.
Now what he's talking about is in dollars and cents. But
They pay the most tax.
no. But here's the way you got to
So
look
you
at
can
it.
get your own
No,
Social
no,
Security and all
Jody,
your
let's
benefits.
say I make $1 million a year and I pay 10% of that for tax. Now listen a minute. And you make $30,000 a year, you make 10%. That would be a fair tax, don't you agree?
I guess.
But the rich won't agree with that. They will not do that. They will not pay their 10%. You got so many businesses now that's not paying any tax. The working man, how does he get around paying his tax? He can't.
Where do you come up with these facts? This is not factual.
General Electric don't pay any tax. Some way they've found a loophole where they don't have to pay it. Have you found a loophole where you can't pay any of your tax?
Well, don't General Electric own NBC?
Okay, your response.
I don't know.
Doesn't General Electric, don't they have something to do with NBC?
I don't
they
know.
own NBC
I don't
News,
watch
don't they?
NBC.
General Electric, don't they have
CNBC.
something?
I don't know.
I think so. I think they do.
I really don't know.
But
But don't be deceived by the rich paying all the time. The working man.
no,
is paying
I'm
the
not
tax.
saying. I understand. When I grew
Dollar
up,
for dollar.
honest to God, when I was young, I was taught in school, Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich.
I was
I
taught
was
the same
raised, I thought that was how I was inbred in
I
my
was taught
head.
the same thing, Doug.
Until I got in the working field and learned, growing as an older person and learning, this ain't true at all. This is not true.
Isn't it? What
No.
class was that? Who broke the labor union?
So, all right,
He
so
owns
let,
his own business.
let's
I
talk
know.
about
Who
let's
broke-
talk
who broke
about
the labor
Trump's tax cuts. Let's talk about Trump's tax cuts. So Trump passed his tax cuts. Are you for or against it? You know, a lot of middle class families are the ones who benefited from that. Yes, some people benefited in the rich, but middle class families benefited a lot from that. You know, what do you think about Trump's tax cuts? Are you for or against it?
Who benefited the most? Who
The middle
benefited-
class.
No, they didn't. They did not. The rich really benefited from it. The working man did get a break there. He got a little increase in his pay. But what we're not looking at is, what's that doing to our country? What's that doing to our deficit? We can't pay our bills now on the taxes that's being paid in, and we cut the taxes? If I'm running a household, I can't do that. If I can't pay my bills on what I'm making, then I gotta make more. The federal government's gotta look at it the same way. You can't cut your income, and that's what he did. He cut the income by cutting the taxes, which, you know, that'll get you votes. That'll get you votes, but it'll break your country. If you don't be real careful, it'll break your country.
Do you want to respond to that?
Well, I just want to go back to the union thing. The unions in this country, at one time, they were a good thing. Okay, I know many people whose unions, all they did was take their money. My brother, you know, did different steel unions. They took all their money, their retirement money. Where did it all go? They embezzled it all. Several of them. You probably know people too. I know you. I know you do.
Oh, no, they
Yeah,
weren't perfect.
they're
I'm not saying
corrupt. They are
perfect.
very corrupt.
They
That's
were
what I'm saying.
corrupt. They were corrupt.
They're so corrupt.
To a certain extent, they were corrupt. But we have no unions today. We can't blame.
Why do you think we don't have any
can't blame it
unions?
on unions today. Now, what's the problem? We have no unions
Why?
today. Huh?
Why?
Because the company's broken. Mr. Reagan, Mr. Ronald Reagan, and the Republican Party don't like labor unions. Ronald Reagan broke the air traffic controllers and said, everybody look at this. Break those labor unions. Look back in history and you'll see that the labor unions started being broke right there. I work for a company. I got a union in there. I voted it in.
I'll
And we
take
won.
this.
Huh?
I got this.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, it was R.J. Reynolds. R.J. Reynolds tobacco company, a big, powerful country. You know what company? You know what they did? They tied that up in court for 10 years. For 10 years, they appealed that and appealed it and appealed it. And one of our Republican presidents was elected and appointed Robert Neese, the Secretary of Labor. Robert Neese said, since it's been so long, we're going to have to vote again. 2 months before he said that, the company gave us a 50-cent increase in pay.
So you think
So
it's
Okay,
there's
all
no
right.
voting.
I've got a question for him really quick. What's the point in raising the minimum wage on the worker?
Wait a minute.
If you're just going to raise the taxes on the worker
Yeah,
anyway.
She's got something.
Wait a minute.
to say.
If I could, can I address him about
Sure,
the
sure.
union issues?
Yes.
Okay, so the American dream is to work hard and develop a business and be successful.
Right.
So I had a mom and pop shop, plumbing company, from the ground up,
capitalism.
Your husband did a good job. I agree.
targeted by the unions.
What?
Everywhere we went.
What happened?
Right.
Targeted by the
You were a
unions.
scab. You were a
I
scab.
had Local 55 out of Cleveland target our company on jobs wherever we went, okay, because they tried to drive us out of business. Because they felt a mom and pop shop, which is the American dream, are taking plumbing contracts that should be theirs.
Well, how much were you paying your employees? How many did you have?
We paid them union scale on any state-ran contract, not non-state contract, very good wages. And I did retirement, vacation, Christmas bonuses, very good I took very good care of my employees.
There's some that did that, Kelly. I agree.
So-
There's some that did that.
This whole union conversation, the unions that existed a long time ago, and by the way, the union was started in West Virginia with the railroad. And
Could have been.
the term redneck comes from the red bandanas that the West Virginian railroad workers wore around their necks to indicate that
Who was
they
who?
were
Who was who?
for
Yep.
the union
Right.
for a better way of
Exactly.
life. Okay, it was started in West
And
Virginia.
it's still union.
So it
Railroad.
completely changed. It is not about America, being successful, raising the mom and pop shop, and growing into a business. Now the unions are taking the mom and pop shops and pushing them under.
I can agree with that, Kelly.
Well, I lived it.
Well,
Look
okay.
at, look
All right,
at,
all right,
look
let's
at
let him
Walmart,
respond.
Kmart, all these, come on.
Walmart, a non-union place, yes, they've killed a lot of mom and pop
They
shops.
took a lot of
That
mom
wasn't
and
no
pop
union
shops.
though. That wasn't no union, Kelly. That was Walmart. They have no unions.
It's
They
called
have
a
no
monopoly.
I
union.
had nothing to do with Walmart.
Where did your dad work?
My dad worked all kinds of places.
Did he retire from Lordstown?
No.
No, okay.
You kidding
Okay, that's always been union down there, Chevrolet.
So what's your response
My response to
To-
mom and pop shops.
to the union?
Oh, the
Yeah,
union?
about her
Yeah,
experience
okay,
by
my
the
response to
union.
the unions is,
Especially in
I can
construction.
take you back in time.
Right,
I can
you-
take
you
you back
choose your
into the
scab.
70s
They called you a
and,
scab.
and the
I
80s.
remember.
Michigan blew up the
70s,
balloons on our job sites.
when the unions were strong and we made a good wage, my forefathers fought for paid vacations, paid holidays, sick leave. My forefathers, now let me
But they ain't
finish.
fighting for
Let me-
that
let me
anymore.
finish. Let me finish. My
Just so you know.
forefathers fought for that. They fought for that and they handed it to me when I went into the workforce. I sat down on my ass
That was American
and
dream.
let the companies take everything back because the unions were the backbone of this country. And I would not stand up. I would not stand up and fight, and now the companies have took it all back. Until we unite as a union or whatever and fight for what we want, we're never going to get anything. We can talk about gun control. We can talk about it, but together we stand, divided we fall.
Okay.
The union this last election, used their pooled money to support the Democrats. Most
School,
of the people
teachers union, most.
that they represented supported Trump. Just so you know, I've done the research, I've looked at the records.
Okay.
So they're still pulling their political power, regardless
Yep.
of what their people want, because it's corrupt.
Gary, I have a question for you. You said Obama did a good thing when he bailed out GM, correct?
Yeah.
You did, that was a good thing?
Oh,
What about
yeah.
all, what about all the hundreds of thousands of people that had stock in General Motors, and they lost all that stock? They just went like this. They just went, bloop, gone. What about all them people? All that money?
They lost it.
Yeah, how could they
Because
lose
the
it when they
company-
invested in the country, in the
They invested
company?
in the company. They invested.
You think
in-
that's a good thing?
They had a choice.
They had a union.
They
They had
let
a
them
choice.
They had a union.
No, they had a choice.
They had a
cho-
union.
No, they had a union, but they had a choice whether to invest it in a company or put it somewhere else. That was their choice. They choose the stock market. The stock market is a gamble. It's like playing cards. It's up and down. You're up and down. So they lost their money. Don't blame that on the unions. Look what they have at General Motors. Look at the people that's retired from General Motors. They got a good retirement. They got hospitalization the rest of
What
their
about
life.
the people that had stock? They lost all that stock.
That was their choice.
They
Jody.
lost it.
That was their choice.
They gained nothing.
Yeah, that was their choice. But a union can't make all the decisions for you. They can
What do
sit
you
there-
pay union dues for? You pay money for a union.
Negotiate a
These
contract.
guys are executives to do this, situate this,
The
work for
union is
you.
not going to tell you how to spend your money. You spend your money the way you want. We'll negotiate.
No, they end up
we'll
taking all your
negotiate
retirement money.
We'll
Okay,
negotiate
hold on.
$25 an
Hold
hour.
it
but-
until he goes. Okay, you ready?
No, they take all your retirement money. That's their idea, right? The unions.
I don't know if
You see it
anybody.
so many
I don't know
times.
if anybody retired from General Motors that don't get their retirement. Where do they lose it at? They get their
That's the
retirement.
next question.
All right. Well, I think we found some common ground on some
Yes, we did.
issues. Other issues we weren't able to find any common ground. But overall, I think this was a good debate.
It was a very good debate.
I'd like you guys
Yes,
to shake
Gary.
hands. All right.
We're going to go sing karaoke now.
You're gonna go sing some karaoke together.
Yeah, you know what song I'm singing for Gary?
What?
The I-95, the asshole song, just for Gary.
And do you know what I'm going to sing to Jody's girlfriend?
What?
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?
All right. Well, this has been a wonderful debate
fun.
with
I had fun.
on Bar Debate Friday Night Live. You're watching Infowars.com. I'm Millie Weaver, and tune back in again on next Friday for another episode of Bar Debate. Woo! And make sure you guys go to our store, InfoWarsStore.com. Support us, share the links, share the message, because we need all the support we can get from you guys. We've also got some amazing products. Make sure you check out the Survival Shield X2. Get yourself some nascent iodine. Get yourself some awesome gear. Get yourself some
God bless
Super
America.
Blue toothpaste. Yes, sponsored by Super Blue toothpaste.
God bless
We got a smile, right?
God bless Mary, yeah. Have I got a smile? No, I'm not gonna smile. I didn't brush my teeth.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Probably
Make
don't
sure
have
you
any-
check back.
You probably
on
don't have
here.
any. You probably don't have any teeth.
You probably don't have any. All
You wanna
right.
see 'em? You wanna see 'em?
Are they real?
Yes, they are real.
Okay, they're real. Okay. Check back in next Friday for more
Ace of
episodes of Bar
Diamonds.
Debate. We are here at the Ace of Diamonds
Diamond,
in
Ohio.
Diamond, Ohio. So if you guys want to come out and show your stuff, go out and debate. You guys think you can challenge on the Democrat side or the Republican side. Looks like we're really heavy on the Republican side. We definitely need more Democrats out here. So if you guys think you got what it takes, come out here for Bar Debate Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time at Diamond, Ace of Diamonds in Diamond, Ohio. All right.
I need help.
He needs help. All right. This is Melly Weaver. Sign off for Infowars.com.
Okay, now what's this? Where's this gonna be on Facebook or somewhere?
Yeah.
No, where at?